Do you have a, let's say, like a hobby or an interest or a skill that you pursue even though you know you're not very good at it? It's way more about having fun and enjoying the process instead of trying to create something perfect or like some kind of masterpiece or even just making something good. It's about having fun with the process. For me, that thing is improv quilting. I have no idea what I'm doing, but it puts a big smile on my face. So I keep doing it, you know? I mean, honestly, my improv projects usually come out really weird, kind of off. But I tend to use scraps when I'm improv piecing, so it doesn't really bother me as much when it doesn't come out well because I don't feel like I'm wasting fabric. In the past, when I've done improv piecing, I just start cutting and sewing without any rhyme or reason. I don't have a plan. I just try to improv it. I try to go by the seat of my pants. And this is sort of the thing that I usually end up with. And while I like it, I know that it doesn't really look good, you know? Do you know what I mean? It's not the kind of thing that a more experienced improv quilter would come up with. It's just something that I whipped up really fast because I wanted to test a quilt as you go technique before I committed to a whole quilt with this technique. And I like it. I keep it on my design wall for whatever reason because I like to look at it. But I know if I'm being honest, it's not really anything special. But it puts a smile on my face, so what are you going to do? So for today's mini quilt, I wanted to try something a little bit different. I made a bunch of really rough sketches to sort of get an idea of what I want to work towards. And looking at them, you can tell there's nothing special about these. I just tried out a couple different ideas to see which one I was most interested in pursuing. And I liked several of them. I think they would look much better with the randomness and, the nice bright colors I'm going to use. But the one that kind of jumped out at me is this one right here. I'm going to make 2 improv triangles and then attach them, or sew them together down the middle. In this sketch, of course, I did a diagonal line that like perfectly bisected the square, but in reality, I expect that my triangles are going to be a little bit more wonky, and I'm going to have to do some major trimming down at the end, at the last stage, to get a nice square. One thing I'm a little worried about is that I don't have enough scraps to make the size of quilt that I was hoping to make. I've been aiming for about 24 inches with my other 2 mini quilts, and I don't know if I have enough scraps to make mine that big, so we'll see. I might have to add in a border or something. I don't know if improv quilters use borders very much. I've never noticed. I think they don't, but I might have to add one, so we'll see. Some people might say that's not improv to make sketches to have a plan, but I don't know. I'm not a professional improver, but I think it still counts because I don't know how the quilt is going to end up. I don't know what colors are going to land where. I'm not measuring anything. I can sort of visualize what I'm aiming for, but that doesn't mean that's what I'm going to end up with. So I still think it totally counts as improv. If you agree, or if you disagree, leave a comment down in the comment section and let me know what you think. Because I'm honestly curious what other people have to say on this issue, if you will. In my experience, improv is a lot of like, what if I do this? Maybe I should try that. Maybe I should add a curve. Maybe I should trim this here. That kind of thing. It's very fly by the seat of your pants. So I'm not really sure how much usable video I'm going to get for this little mini quilt project. I'm going to try to do like little update clips, I think. I think that's all I can really do. Some updates where this is what I have now. This is what I think I'm going to do next. That sort of thing. But really, I don't think this is going to be a super long video. So be patient with me. And I hope you enjoy what I do manage to record. I need to choose between grays and this cream, I think. I don't think they are working very well together. And also, I don't want quite this much contrast in my mini quilt. I want something that's more of a color wash. So I think I'm going to eliminate this cream out of there and stick with my grays. And I also went through my my scrap stash again, and I pulled out a few more things just so that I know that I'm going to have, I'm hoping this is going to be enough to make sure I can finish my quilt to the size that I want it to be. So now I can get started. I'm thinking that as I move forward, I'm going to try to do these sort of rings, maybe, as I go, and have the first ring for this one be my sort of lighter colors, and then the first ring on this side, I'll use some darker colors, and then the next round, I'll do dark and then light. So I'll update you when I have made a little bit of progress on this. Here is where I am so far, and I think after taking a closer look at my stash, I really don't have very much light fabric, so I'm going to keep going dark, light as much as I can, but I think it's going to run out before I reach the size that I need these to be. Also, I want to point out I completely lost the point of this triangle, so I think I'm going to sew on this little piece here and then cut it so I have a point again. And I'm going to try to avoid curves for this one, I think. I feel like curves eat up fabric pretty quickly, and I want to make sure I don't run out too soon. So maybe I'll throw in a curve, but I think for now I'm going to try to avoid them. Here is round 2. After round 2, they're coming together a little bit more slowly than I was expecting because I'm having to do a lot more piecing than I thought. I completely overestimated how soon I would need these super long pieces. I thought I could build a little bit more before I had to start piecing a bunch, but I'm having a ton of fun. They're not turning out how I was expecting either, so I'm not sure how many more rounds I'm going to do, because I think I'm going to maybe sew these together with one long middle strip and try to use that strip to square it up just a little bit. And then, well, not square it up, I'll have a rectangle. I think I'm going to commit to just one more round of these triangles. So already this one is, I'm pushing it up to the corner, this is about 12 by 16 inches. And this one is much shorter, 12 by 14, so not too much shorter actually. I just noticed I cut off the point of this, so I'm going to have to do another patch like I did here. So that's where I'm at right now. And I think I'm going to try to let go of the idea that I'm going to make a 24 by 24 inch mini quilt. So it'll be just a little bit different than the other ones I've made so far, but that's going to have to be fine. Here are my 2 very different triangles. They turned out a lot longer on one side than I expected for each of them. And I was thinking that I might put them together sort of like a rectangle and then put some filler in between. But I'm not so sure now. I'm having some second thoughts. I was starting to like the idea of making a pieced border, but I'm not so sure. And if I just sew them together like this, it's very, very wonky shape. And I think it would be hard to make the borders and then square it up. I don't know. So I want to take some time to think about this. So I'm going to actually sleep on it and come back to it tomorrow and see if I have formed any opinions or preferences overnight. And then I can take it from there. Okay, so I had a good night's sleep and I still have only a very vague idea of what I'm going to do for this to finish this quilt, to fill in that gap. But I did want to show you this thing that I do. I use this ruler handle to connect 2 rulers together so that I can have either nice wide or nice long rulers created from the rulers I already have. So it works pretty good. It's not super sturdy, so I wouldn't go crazy with it, but if you're gentle with it, it works so good. So right now, I've combined 2 24-inch rulers so that I can get this corner squared up, because I feel like once I get this corner squared up, I might have a better idea of how to finish up that middle part. So I'm going to square up this corner, then I'm going to go ahead and even out this central sort of line, and then I'll do some more brainstorming. I think I have an idea of what I want to do in the middle, but I'm going to get this squared up first. And by the way, I do have a video of when I discovered this little hack, so I'm going to link it to this video if you want to see more about it and some of the different things I can do with it. So here's what I'm working with. This is the gap I need to fill in, And I've been doing sort of some little bits of log cabins, a little bit of just like random scraps and things. And I'm going to build it up, I think. This isn't how it's for sure going to be laid out, but this is an idea. I'm going to be filling in that gap with this stuff. And then when I get about here, I am having a hard time with the like randomly pieced things. So I think I'm going to switch over to doing stripes. Like so. And then you can see there's a lot of extra left over, and I can just trim that off and add to the that section if I need more. So a very, very, very rough idea of what I want to do. And also, once I've pieced together this panel, I don't know what to do next in order to attach it to the two triangles. Because if I'm not careful, I can throw off all of the squaring up that I did previously. So I'm just going to sew on down. Wish me luck. Have you ever been knee deep in a project and all you can think is, how did I get here? Or like, why am I doing this? Why am I even doing this? And you know that there must be an easier way to do what you're doing if only you could think of it. Because that is where I am right now. So I'm going to tell you what I'm doing now, but if you could leave suggestions about what I should have done in the comment section, that would be great for next time. Okay, so what I have done is I've lined up my triangles so that they are square, or not square, you know, they're rectangles, but so that they're on the lines, and I've taped them top and bottom so that I can move them out of the way. And then this is freezer paper that I cut to fit into that gap. So my plan from here is to tape down the edges of my piece to the freezer paper. Then I'm going to use one of my long rulers to trim along that. And then that'll give me a freezer paper template that I can iron on to my insert, if you will, my insert. And then I can cut that out using a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the template. And also, a side note, this is still too short. I have to add more down here to fill in this corner. But that's where I am. I have no idea if this is gonna work. So, here we go. So now I'm going to peel up the sides. Actually, I think I'm going to add some more tape here because I'm feeling really nervous about this plan. So this is my finished quilt top. I think I measured it at, let's see, 21, I think it's 21 and a half by 18 and a half. So sort of weird numbers, and it's far short from my 24 by 24 that I was aiming for, but I think it looks finished here. I don't want to add anything extra and make it look unbalanced or anything. But my only question is what the final orientation should be. So I put it together to go portrait style, if you will, but I think it also looks good landscape. So let me switch it around real quick and I'll let you see that one too. So I think it looks really good in this orientation too. I just can't decide which one I like better. I think I'm almost leaning towards this one, but I just might be tired of seeing it in the other orientation. So this looks more interesting and novel to my eyes. So in the comment section down below, let me know, do you like the portrait orientation or do you like the landscape orientation for this mini quilt? Thanks for spending time with me today, quilters. If you want to support this channel and help me buy supplies and materials for future videos, please visit my Buy Me a Coffee page linked in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye!